Freestylin with Stevie B, that podcast show that is just so informative. And we talk about everything under the sun. And you can check us out not only on his FB page, but we're also on Amazon, we're on iHeart, we're on Spotify, you name it. We're going to be there, and you can go ahead and download us for real. And today's a special day. First of all, how you feeling, Stevie? You good?
Just trying to stay healthy, getting ready. The tour is actually starting to heat up a little bit now, so which is good. We're going into May, and then June, July, August, it just gets super hot.
Yeah. And we got, speaking of super hot, we got a brand new series that's hitting Amazon Prime, and we've got the gentleman, the creator, the mastermind behind this season 2 of Gravesend, William DeMeo. How you doing, bro?
I'm great, bro. Thank you.
You got a familiar face, man. We've seen you in many movies, man. The Bronx Tale, and obviously the new season of Gravesend. How things been for you, man?
Very good. Thank God. Very exciting that we're going to kick off season 2 very soon. In the next few months, we'll make our announcement of where it's going to play and get it out there. And the second season we added a tremendous cast. I'm very excited. I'm actually in my tomorrow is my last day of full post-production. It's 9 episodes, with an amazing soundtrack and so much involved. But it's like doing 4 movies. So you guys know what it's like to post, even when you guys got tracks, that final bit, how long it takes.
We know that very well.
That tweaking is actually very work oriented.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So let's take a little clip and let's check out a little clip of the season trailer for Gravesend season number 2. Let's just go ahead and pop into that real quick. I love it. I started watching season 1 on Amazon, and I'm like, I can't wait. Not, you know how you get addicted to a certain show.
Yeah.
Now bro, I got work to do. Thanks a lot, William, man.
No.
You got me all up in the mix here. Let's check out the clip real quick.
Look at you, all the way from Brooklyn.
You're from Gravesend, yes?
Benny's the real deal. He's a legend.
Business is business, and there's a lot of money at stake here.
Well, let's get down to business.
It's time you make your bones. He's planting his flag for the Philly mob, but everyone else wants to do the same too. This guy put a lot of good fellas away back home.
And one of them is my cousin Charlie.
When we get back to our neighborhood, they're gonna know we're home.
There was a time when there was a code. Loyalty, respect, honor. These were real men.
We are all Colezzos. This is Cosa Nostra.
Salud. My crew in Gravesend, they can be a big asset to what we are building here.
Made or not made, our loyalty's with you, Benny.
You walk with your head up high on these streets because you're from our school, and that's the best school there is.
You are here, breathing, because of me. Guess who's back?
You ain't seen nothing yet. Walk that wire, start that fire, yeah. Burn it down, oh yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. I go harder, let the sun feel me now. You ain't seen nothing yet.
It's a Brooklyn thing.
We're going back to the way it was.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Thank you. It was just a little bit behind for us to see it because
Yeah.
it was rendering a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't know if you were able to tell it was a little bit off track for us to see, but
Forget about it. Forget about it.
No, we
Forget
saw
about
it perfect. We saw it perfect.
Forget
And
about
you got Chaz up in the mix. You got Andrew Dice Clay. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Mary, quite contrary. Trim that. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah.
Gravesend, baby. That's hot.
Yeah. Hey,
thank
Stevie,
you.
you know what I love? You know what I love about this is that you're filming some of it in Miami and New York, which is great because we need these Miami actors to get some shine as well, right?
No doubt.
We're always for the 305. So my quick question to you is, how are you correlating Miami? What's the connection with the Mafia? 85 is when your series takes place. But what timeline? What are you trying to pull out of Miami when you come and do the scenes here?
Yeah, well, at this point, it's 87 when I'm in Miami. And what happens is if you watch the first season, something very drastic happens to the main character that I play. And we pick up season 2, and he's in Miami. The first episode's called On the Lam.
Okay.
And as you know, all the New Yorkers would always come to Florida and hang out and cause havoc in Florida and Miami, of all places. And the main character is in Miami in the very beginning, and a lot of stuff goes down. He gets connected. He meets the guys in Florida. You know, the Chicago mob's there, the Philadelphia mob's there, New York. It's a whole thing that comes together. And William Forsythe, the legend William Forsythe, plays the boss of the Florida family. And we incorporated a lot of the season 2 is in Florida. Probably about 30% is shot there. And and season 3 will be in Florida again. We had a great, what's great about Miami is there's parts of it that look so old still.
Yeah.
And we shot at a hotel called the International Inn. And it looked like it was 1985. I don't know if you know that hotel. It's
in downtown? Downtown?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's by Bayside. Yeah, I know where it's at.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like the old days completely.
Yeah.
What role did you play? Are you writing, producing, executing? What's your overall picture in there? Besides, of course, you were one of the main actors.
Yeah, well, on this project, I wear a lot of hats. I'm the writer and director, creator, and main character of the show. So I directed every episode, I wrote every episode, and I star. I'm the main character, but I have a great team around me that has just blossomed into something that is. The beauty of it is that we're able to do it the way we want to do it and make it the way we want to make it. And you guys know what it was like at that point in the 80s,
What are you trying to say different than what the other gangster movies or the mafia movies were saying? Is this a story? Is these stories from your perspective other than what we've already seen over the years? What is the new fresh perspective coming from your series?
That's a very good question, Stevie. So when you do things like incorporating mafia, romantic comedies, horror, there's always similarities no matter what. You're never going to completely get away from similarities with different things, but you have to put your own touch on it. And what I was able to do is, I come from Bensonhurst, Gravesend, an area that if you Google or do your research and know what that area was about, I mean, literally, that's where a lot of wise guys come from. I mean,
Gotcha.
We can name 10 people now that that are major, well-known people in that life. And I grew up around that area and seeing what it was like to grow up there, and just what I think makes this different from the other shows and movies is this shows you the ground up everyday operations, like things that everyone, when you think of the mafia, you always see guys with suits, this, that, bosses, all high echelon. This is more the street. And if you know the life in the world, some guys don't even get made till they're in their 70s. Like, it's not, everyone thinks that I painted a different picture. But what I also did was show you a time in Brooklyn when a Cadillac would cruise by and you'd hear Stevie B, Spring Love, blasting out of the speakers.
Oh, nice.
Time when your music, Stevie, was brother, you crushed it. And like that time period, there was an area in Brooklyn called 86th Street where everyone used to cruise up and down. And there'd be cars and backed up and music and the disco ball hanging and the red bit ribbon and the girl's hair high up and the music and the flavor. I'm showing when people sat down and talked on the stoop instead of text each other and went on Facebook to talk to each other. I'm showing
Were
the
you
time.
able to incorporate any of our 80s, 87s, 88, 89? Were you able to incorporate any of those during any of the episodes?
The music, there's tons
Yes.
of there's tons of all that music.
There
I
is.
mean,
I heard Frankie Bones get the hoe. I was like, this dude is played like the, you know what I'm saying, like the grimy, not only the
yeah, the
freestyle, he was
stuff that
playing
people,
the club bangers. You know what I mean?
I like the jams like the Cavern and like Capricorn, I Need
Yeah.
Love, like songs that certain people may not even know. You'll find like a couple of songs like that as well. But
How
in
much
season
say
two,
do you have in the songs that are picked?
I have complete say.
So you pretty much
Fully.
put the playlist together
Fully.
yourself.
I put the whole music would help the whole entire soundtrack. I put it to. I know music, and I love Stevie B's.
That's
This sound
season
like
3. Season 3 is Spring Love, Party Your Body,
No,
And Take It
season
All
3
Back.
is going to be a lot of. I wish
and Take It All Back. That's right.
with Stevie B, but we have some great songs. Like I don't want to give away my season 2 soundtrack, but I'll give you a couple of songs. Silent Mornings in there. Catch
Yeah,
Me
good.
I'm Falling is in there. When I Hear Music, just a few. Play at Your Own Risk. One More Shot. Those songs, all of those music, and all you guys, Stevie B.
William, that's a conversation I think we had when we were talking to some of the other old schoolers, and we were talking about people like yourself that had this history with not only the lifestyle, but that history is connected with our music, our culture, which came from our culture, with all the Geno boys playing with the IROC Z's. That's a common story from Toronto with the Italians into New York, Miami, in most parts of the country, in New Orleans, Louisiana. So in all of these places, our music played a big part in the history of what was going on in the mid 80s into the 90s. So we struck a whole generation like yourself. And this is about time. And the point I wanted to make was a lot of our people now that come from our generation are coming into positions of power. And this is how the Rock Boys did. Rock and roll did the same thing. Those were just fans. Those CEOs and music directors and editors and people that were program directors for these programs, they were fans of that music. Now, quite clearly, you must have been a fan of Stevie B and freestyle music.
I'm a fan of
in a
Stevie
big part.
B. I remember distinctly one thing. One day I was outside. I swear I was by 18th Avenue. And a beautiful Cadillac with the spokes came by with the Vogue tires, and In My Eyes was playing.
Nice.
Like you crushed it. I mean, listen, you come from so many great artists like yourself, but you stood out always. I mean, your music was always
Thank you.
amazing. And like you said, it was a time like how many people you guys, your music block parties, how many block parties, the whole entire block filled with people. And you'd hear Party Your Body. You'd hear Spring Love. You'd hear these songs. You'd hear, When I Hear Music, you'd hear all these great jams. I mean.
So for you, this is not even risky to even, like you say, take a shot on this music or I think that in a lot of music, movie series, movies in general, they, for some reason, just overlook us. They just pass us by as though they'll skip right over us and go straight to Hammer and then go to whatever that R&B was. But for 87, 88, 89, 90, for some reason, we don't get included into the big stuff. And I'm very proud of you that you have the courage to put that in there, not only because it's just good shit, but it makes it's actually real. We were alive and kicking ass doing that part.
Ask me about what separates this. So when you watch a Scorsese movie, which by the way has brilliant music, the Stones and great stuff, Sinatra, people are used to seeing like Frank Sinatra playing. seeing hearing the Stones, that type of
Yes.
music. Wise guys in Brooklyn listen to this music. They listen to
Wow.
the clubs. There was clubs in our area. One was called Pastels. These
I
type of
played there.
clubs played this music. This, Long Island, clubs on Long Island where all these wise guys went. They were listening.
Yes.
They had a tape and they played Stevie B. They played music that you would hear from that time. And that's why I show it, because it's real. It's what it is.
I think it would be a great idea. It just like a lot of the movies and a lot of the series is now, they're letting a lot of the artists do cameos. I would love to, and I'm pretty sure a lot of artists would love to do cameos some type of way with your series if you still haven't, maybe the next one, but include us in, because you don't know the life that you breathe into our careers when you include us, especially with things on this caliber. Congratulations, you have something that's really incredible.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I always include people like, for instance, just different people that are radio, like Joe Causey's in the show. Hollywood Hamilton's in the show. Another person, another big radio personality, Sid Rosenberg, 77 WABC, the #1 morning show now. He's in the show. Yeah, that's 100%. That's what we even include some baseball.
It makes it look authentic when you do that. You know what I mean? When you go into a city, a neighborhood, and you incorporate some of the people that stand out, some of the socialites, whether they're in radio or TV or they're just, movers and shakers, promoters in the
Will you move
area.
The clock? Will you move the clock up? Because normally when we get all the quote unquote gangster movie, the Italian movies coming out, like you say, it's the Sinatras, it's the people from the 60s and the 50s having that perception. Now I think with yours, you're coming with the new generation of perceptions and showing that, hey, we're the new kids on the block when it comes to this. And these are the people that was influencing our music and our culture in our neighborhoods. And it's the Stevie B's, the Noels, the Judy Torres, it's the K7s.
Absolutely. We even have a Johnny O song playing. We have one of Johnny O's songs in the place.
Yes.
And one of Johnny O's, like, that music, like I said, it was such a part of what went on. And I love the fact that right now, I feel like freestyle, like you guys have always had a great, especially people always came out to see you guys, but I feel like now it's really back in a huge way. I mean, look at I'm looking right now,
look at all the flyers. Yeah, there's shows like crazy. Yeah, coming up. And these are only, these are only ones I could fit.
No, we're busy. We're busy.
Yeah.
It's that next level, William. It's that next level that it's the 50 cents that comes in and bring all the rappers in and the new generation of artists and producers and actors and actresses. It's guys like yourself that pull us in and then bring us to whatever the next level of things. You got to remember, we weren't in the music business. We weren't in the movie business. We were in the music business. So it takes guys like yourself, the Scorseses and the Spielbergs and the William DeMeos and things like that, who saying, hey, look, my father and grandfather was the old thing, but we are the new thing. And these are the artists and the people that influenced our culture, our way of life, and we're going to make sure that we get attached to it. This is the issue. They won't attach us to what was happening. Like you were saying, there were things that were happening culturally in certain neighborhoods that it was a big deal. It wasn't a small deal. It was a big deal.
It was a major deal.
So we don't get looked at as a major deal. So I'm very proud of you. And I must say, I got to give you flowers today. Thank you for even saying that publicly. And hopefully others will, take your lead and start including a lot, not just myself. Look, one man is no island in this thing. And like you said, you talked about your team. So it's Felix that puts these stuffs together and do all these things, and he comes to me and for the most part and say, hey, look, we're going to include this and include that. This is an actual wonderful segue away from the traditional conversation of music, but showing that our music was literally in the veins. When you say coisa nostra, nossas coisas, this is our thing. This is our thing, and this is what it was attached to, nossa costra. So you say,
of course, that's why I'm so pleased that I gave it this look. And when you hear this music, you'll understand it's not like what you're normally used to seeing. And I, just everything, like I said, about that time, everything about it, the way everyone congregated and hung out and the clubs and everything. Look, Stevie, you would show up to clubs, you were a major rock star. I mean, you were the Beatles.
Yes.
Like when you went to Brooklyn, when you went to Long Island, when you went to the Bronx,
yes,
you were the Beatles. There was places where they would rather hang out with you than Paul McCartney. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That crew.
No.
The crew that we had. You know what I'm saying? And even my big time Tommy, who's Mr. Old School, he's a huge fan of yours.
Yeah, I hit him. He hit me the other day. It was congratulating me on Take It All Back, and the new single I have is talking exactly about what your series is about. We want to go back to that moment. There's something that happened there that got overlooked. Okay, everybody else got a project, but the late '80s, mid '80s, all the way up to the mid '90s. There was something going on with our music that influenced the culture in a big way. But we didn't have the 50 Cents that's making series about it and putting in our music and making sure that we were on that timeline. Okay, we were synchronized with that part of history. 80, 86, 87, 88, 89, 91, 92. That was us.
Yeah, and I know when this series jumps off very shortly, that it's going to rejuvenize this like there's no tomorrow. I mean, I already see what's happening.
Yeah, because you're using the music that you grew up with, putting it in the forefront in movie making and series making and all of that stuff, because this is what you feel should be the bread and butter of your musical background when it comes to doing the shows that you're doing. Now, one thing that I remember you saying on another interview, I think you were being interviewed by Chaz, and you were mentioning something about Robert De Niro having a big impact in your movie career and when you first started. Is he the one that really stands out when it comes to why you're doing movies?
Well, if it wasn't for Robert De Niro, I wouldn't even be sitting here right now, because I was just supposed to be like an extra, and he picked me out of a crowd and gave me a couple of lines. I didn't have a big part, but I was able to get a speaking part and get my SAG card and start my career. And then I worked across from him and analyzed that. I played the character Al Pacino. They called me Al Pacino. And I worked across from Robert De Niro. And, we had kept in touch at that time. And look, Robert De Niro, I mean, who didn't love Robert De Niro? I mean, growing up in Brooklyn. And then I got to work with John Travolta. I mean, across from John, and me and John Travolta are very close. So, and then to bring John Travolta, I brought John Travolta back to my neighborhood I grew up in. We did the Gotti movie together. I played the role of Sammy Guarano. He played John Gotti. And we became close, and we had an event in Brooklyn, and I brought him back to the pizzeria, Lenny's Pizza. When he walks down the street, the Bee Gees, Staying Alive is playing. He walks up to the pizza window and orders 2 slices of pizza. I brought him back to that pizzeria, and we had 10,000 people in the street. So
that's amazing. That's crazy.
Those two, De Niro was the start of how I got in this business. And John Travolta has really been a mentor to me as I got more into acting and working. I really, I can't say enough great things about both of them, because I wouldn't have started. And then Chaz Palminteri, he's the one that wrote Bronx Tale. De Niro gave Chaz his break. He's the one that believed in Chaz and got behind his movie and directed his movie. That was Robert De Niro's first directorial movie. Mm-hmm. And then we come full circle. Chaz Palminteri's in my show. So I'm
That's
very
amazing.
blessed.
Congratulations.
You know, just to think about that, thank you. And, you know, I can't say enough great things about Chaz Palminteri, who, by the way, blows it out of the door in Gravesend.
Let's play a little clip of some of the characters that you guys had, like a little IG clip. This is real short. Let's see.
There was Anthony Stabile.
How you doing?
Frankie Carbone. And then there was Mo Black's brother, Fat Andy. And his guys, Frankie the Wop, Freddie No Nose. And then there was Pete the Killer, who was Sally Balls' brother. And you had Nicky Eyes.
What's up, guy?
And Mikey Francesi.
That guy, yeah, I want to see him.
And Jimmy Two Times, who got that nickname because he said everything twice, like...
I'm gonna go get the papers,
I love that, man. I think I've seen, I don't know about you, Stevie, but I think I've seen almost every Mafia movie ever made. I don't remember seeing Boss of Bosses. I got to go back and see that one. But
well, that one I played young Carlo Gambino and Chaz played Paul Castellano. That clip, so what happened is we were doing a huge 4th of July scene on the block I grew up in Brooklyn, right in Gravesend. There was a lot of people there, a lot of extras. And one of the actors, Chris Mamando, just took the camera and just started doing, you know, and that of anyone that, because that's been people have done that, knocked that off a million times. I think ours got the most views. The setting was just right. All the faces, the way it was set up, it was just done. You know, I got to commend Chris for that. It got Gravesend like over 5 million views just on that little clip of, you know, just that little Goodfellas clip. You know, everyone loves these type of movies, and you know, I'm just very proud to be where we are right now with the show.
Congratulations, brother. It looks fantastic. It looks like a big time. It looks like some big time shit going on. And thank you for
you, Stevie.
Thinking about us and including us whatever way you can.
Yes.
Absolutely,
do you have an actual date when season 2? I'm watching season 1 now, but when season 2 is actually going to be airing?
I'm going to have that date in the next 2 weeks. One thing I could say is we're going to be at the Cannes Film Festival right now. The show is going to be presented in the Cannes Film Festival. I look forward to you guys being a part of season 3 100%.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that, man. Do you guys have any social platforms you want to promote where people can follow season 2?
I have my personal Instagram, William DeMeo, and the Gravesend series. And I also have a clothing brand called Brooklyn Brand, which is this is one of my shirts right here. It's all Brooklyn type of stuff. So, and it's called My Brooklyn Brand. Yeah. I got Stevie. I got to send you some Brooklyn stuff. Buddy.
Send me some stuff.
Some Brooklyn love. Definitely. I'll send you a whole bunch of stuff. Definitely, guys.
Yo, and these wise guys are superheroes too, man. They were on the set a while back, and some kid got ran over by a car down the block, and they ran over there and actually lifted the car up and saved the kid's life, man. I think there's like a show that could be done like that. The wise guys superheroes.
Yeah, well, we were filming, and just so happened right down the street, unfortunately, a car ran over a kid.
Thank God he's okay. Yeah,
thank God our crew and some of the actors, we lifted the car up, and thank God he's okay. I'd love to do something with all of us in New York, bro. We should do something. We should all talk about that off, you know. We'll
talk about that off screen. We'll talk about that off screen.
Absolutely, man.
Yo, much love, William. Thank you so much for taking the interview,
Good luck.
You guys are both gentlemen. I really appreciate, you know, going on with you guys. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Get some viewers over there
wish
too.
you guys the best with everything. Thank you.
Take it all back to how it used to be.